Hey, y'all. We're back. We're now in May. A beautiful May, beautiful spring, getting geared up to summer, even though summer doesn't officially start until next month. I mean, this is the unofficial kickoff that happens in May. But this week, for our weekly 5 card spread, we are still in this lovely grounded Taurus energy. We just moved out of having this new moon energy. Actually, there was an eclipse, so we haven't really moved out of it. But we're in this beautiful Taurus energy where we're trying to find ways to ground ourselves, to root ourselves, to get connected. And so I definitely suggest to everybody out there to get really comfortable in your families, whoever that is, however that's configured. Ground yourself, find ways to just learn more about you, learn more about what makes you happy, what brings you joy and comfort, and do more of that this week before we even get started. So I'll give the cards one last shuffle. I always do most of this work before I get on camera because who wants to hear me shuffling all the time? If you get my newsletter, if you don't, you definitely should go over to WTFwithMel.com, sign up for the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, you may not know that I have a lot of things cropping up, like new flowers happening this May, some workshops. We got some training that's getting ready to roll out in June. So make sure that you come and check that out. If you happen to be in the Charlotte region, make sure to come and see me May 17th. I'll bring it up again at the Pride in Business Expo, May 17th. Come check that out. Let's get started with our 5 card spread. And I will first pull our spiritual connection card. And here we have the 7 of Wands. Nice. And for our health and happiness, we have the Ace of Pentacles here. Good. For our love and relationships, we have the 5 of Cups. For our business and career, we have the Death card. And for our overall card, we have the Devil card. So, all right, I don't want anybody to get freaked out by these cards that are coming up this week. They're just big messages of things that can sometimes feel hard for us, but are necessary. So let's just take them one by one like we always do. So let's start with the 7 of Wands here. And in our spiritual connection card. And so this week, I want you to take some time to reflect on what you've been working on, right? Wands is action. Think about what you've been doing. Allow yourself to take some pride in the work that you've been doing. And I want to say that the dreams, the aspirations that you've been focusing on, that you've been working on, allow yourself some time and space to acknowledge those things, to continue to grow those things, to continue to allow creativity to have its place, to have a space in the work that you want to do. I've talked to a lot of people recently about slowing down and connecting to their work in more creative ways. And I think this 7 of Wands here in our spiritual connection is giving us that message, right? It's thinking about what we've learned and what we're learning, what's coming through for us spiritually, allowing yourself space to reflect on that so that you can start to take some actions and move that into the real world, not just the spirit realm, if that makes sense. Let's move on to the Ace of Pentacles that we have here as our health and happiness card. And, aces are new beginnings. And for Pentacles, it's very Taurus energy. It's things that we can put our hands on, tangible things, earth energy, things that ground us, that are maybe things that we purchase, things we can spend money on, new physical beginnings. So maybe new work, maybe new even home or places to live, places to feel comfortable. This week, when you think about your health and happiness, similar to the Seven of Wands, I want you to think about what new ways, what new beginnings can you allow to appreciate and acknowledge the good things, the little good things that are happening around your home. So maybe if you've been, not feeling great about things that are happening at home, but you haven't made the time to make any changes, now is the time to just stop and think about what little thing just made me smile. And maybe I should share that with somebody in my home or someone close to me. Think about the little things that happen that may seem kind of mundane or just, oh, it was cute and I'm going to move on. It wasn't a big deal. Take the time to acknowledge the little things that make you smile every day and give it a voice, give it a space, give it an opportunity to manifest in the world. Because if you can stop and just smile and be happy for a moment, it takes away from the heaviness of what you might be working on for your business or in your career. So take the time, allow the space to acknowledge the little things that happen in your everyday world. Let's talk about our love and relationships with the Five of Cups. So, this did just come up recently around work with a good friend of mine, Jocelyn, one of my magical cartographer friends. And think about your energy that you put into the relationships and the people around you. And the Five of Cups is wanting you to hang on to the things that make sense for you. Hang on to the people, the energy, the connection to people that is important, and not worry about everything else, not worry about every person who's ever come in and out of your life, not hang on to everybody else's emotional baggage, I'm going to say, and just hang on to what you need. You may have spent a fair amount of time trying to be the water bearer for everyone, hanging on to everyone's emotions and their needs and keeping people together. But the change that's happening for you in yourself and that's manifesting in your relationships requires you to let go of the extra stuff that I don't even think is yours. You have to hang on to, and you're capable of hanging on to the things that are meant for you. And you know what those are. You know the things that are yours and the things that are not. And the things that are not, you have to allow other people to evolve and grow in their own way to deal with those things. It's time for you to focus on the changes that are happening within you and only hang on to your stuff. Now we'll move into these two slightly heavier cards for some people, but the message is important, right? So we'll move on into our business and career, and here we have the Death card. Now this is really important for, sorry, I don't know why I pronounce it so dramatically, but this is really important for us many times in our careers or if we're running a business. This idea of needing to end something. Endings come all the time naturally, but we individuals make it much more difficult to let things end than necessary. So, what is happening in your business? What face is, I feel like there's this face that maybe you're putting on that isn't yours anymore? Is there something in your business or at work that doesn't feel authentic to you that you've either been doing or trying to do? And it just doesn't feel like you, it doesn't feel real. And you recognize that this doesn't even feel like me. And you've been maybe grasping at hanging on to that behavior, keeping that facade up or continuing to do that work within your business. Maybe you've been trying to message around it or marketing around something that just doesn't feel authentic to you anymore. The death card is reminding us, A, that you've got to let that go, right? There's no space for it anymore. There are these cycles that you've been through already. Again, evolution really is coming up for me this week. There are these changes that have come because you've grown, because you're continuing to grow. And the person you were before isn't meant to be the person who's still showing up now. You know more, you are capable of more, and that's who has to show up. So this week, it's going to be really important for you to let go of the face that doesn't feel like yours anymore. Stop focusing on that work. Stop focusing on whatever that message is that's been lingering, because there's so much more on the other side. Death is about endings, the things that need to end, that have come to a natural ending, but it's also about rebirth. Because once you realize, I can let this go, then you get to show up. That other door metaphor happens, the other door opens, and you're able to show up as who you are. You're able to show up authentically. You're able to show up and say, hey, right, this is who I am. This is what I do. Come work with me. Or here's why you should give me this raise. Or here's why we should start this new project together. And this is, very spring energy, very like coming out of winter, moving into this beautiful growth. So that's what the death card wants us to know about this week when it comes to our business and career, especially. And then last but not least, we have our overall card, which is the devil card this week. Now, this is the card that I think brings some angst to a lot of us. But again, there is a message here. So overall, if we think about the cards we had for our internal self and taking time to reflect and allow the things that bring us joy, that bring us happiness, acknowledging those things, giving space to appreciate those things. In order for us to do that, the external things, which feel a little heavier this week, need to take place. We need to be able to, Five of Cups in love and relationships, we need to be able to let go, right? To move into the change that has been happening and hang on to what's ours. And then the death card here in our business and career, we need to stop, again, living in the past and allowing that change within us and within our business, within our careers. We need to allow that to happen. So the devil card is that reminder of letting go, the things that aren't good for us. If you think about any type of obsessions that we have or addictions that we have, things that are not good for us, even if at one point they were, maybe a relationship started out really good and helpful and helped move you from one place to another, but then it turned into something uglier. It turned into something that was weighing you down, but yet you stay. That type of addiction is not helpful. Same thing with, again, I'll use business and career with this death card that comes up. The person that you used to be that got you to where you are right now in your career, or got you to start, inspired you to start this new business, that person's amazing and you needed that person, but maybe now you've transitioned into this more evolved version that needs to show up. So it feels like the devil card is reminding us that the old versions of ourselves that we're hanging on to, it's time to let those go. They're holding us back. We don't need it. Again, we've evolved, we've moved beyond that version of ourselves, and we're stopping the progress of growth by hanging on to these things that don't serve us anymore. And again, I just feel like we've moved beyond it. We're better than that now. You're better than that now. And so allow yourself to show up as the best version and not be tied to that old crap that we don't need anymore. Okay. So I hope that was helpful for everyone. I'd love to hear how your week is going, how this resonates with you. If there are things that are coming up, let me know. Make sure that you come and check out WTFwithMel.com. Check out the website, check out social media so that you see all of the workshops and trainings and in person events that I'll be a part of that you can join in on. And that's it. Stay magical, y'all.